Chris Pine was great, but the Kirk actor Star Trek turned down would have been amazing too. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. A Marvel actor almost portrayed Captain James T. Kirk in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009, a role that went to Chris Pine. J.J. Abrams rebooted the Star Trek franchise with an entirely new cast portraying Captain Kirk and his Starship Enterprise crew. Star Trek 2009 became a resounding success at the box office and among critics and viewers. 2 sequels followed, but the first film was enough to launch the careers of many of the actors into superstardom. In addition to Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, and Simon Pegg all have successful Hollywood careers. In an interview with Josh Horowitz on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, Marvel actor Sebastian Stan revealed that he had been in the running to portray Captain Kirk in Star Trek 2009. Stan said he desperately wanted the role and that he actually got very close to it. While Stan would likely have made a solid Kirk, everything worked out for the best. A couple of years later, in 2011, Stan landed the role of Bucky Barnes in Captain America, the first Avenger, launching his career to another level in much the same way Star Trek launched Chris Pine's. Sebastian Stan has enjoyed a particularly strong year in 2024 with 2 buzzworthy films, A Different Man and the Donald Trump biopic, The Apprentice. Critics have praised Stan's performances in both films, proving what a high-caliber actor he has become. With his impressive list of credits, it's obvious Sebastian Stan would have made an amazing Captain Kirk. Sebastian Stan and Chris Pine have had similar career trajectories, with Stan achieving superstardom after his turn as Bucky Barnes in Captain America, the first Avenger. Sebastian Stan went on to portray Bucky Barnes, Eka the Winter Soldier, in 5 subsequent Marvel Studios films, not counting uncredited cameos in Ant-Man and Black Panther. He also starred alongside Anthony Mackie's Falcon in Marvel Television's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and is set to star in the upcoming Thunderbolts*. Sebastian Stan has made Bucky a fan-favorite character, and he could undoubtedly have brought that same energy to Captain Kirk. Although Bucky Barnes and Kirk are very different characters, they both have charming personalities and similar senses of humor. While it would have been cool to see Sebastian Stan's take on Captain Kirk, Chris Pine did an excellent job portraying the Enterprise captain. Pine managed to capture the same swagger of William Shatner's Kirk from Star Trek, the original series, without simply impersonating him. Since J.J. Abrams' Star Trek films take place in the alternate Kelvin timeline, Pine's Kirk had a different upbringing than Shatner's character. Because of this, Pine's Kirk is more reckless and angrier than Shatner's Kirk. Pine portrays this difference beautifully, while still making Kirk feel fundamentally like the same character. Chris Pine also had the right kind of chemistry with Zachary Quinto's Spock, as both actors perfectly portrayed their complex relationship from rivals to reluctant allies to friends. As such, Chris Pine's take on Kirk remains one of the highlights of Star Trek 2009 and its 2 sequels. Like Sebastian Stan, Pine has gone on to land several starring roles throughout his career, highlighting his range as an actor. Pine is familiar with superhero stories as well, as he landed the role of Steve Trevor in DC's Wonder Woman in 2017. Pine also voiced a version of Peter Parker in 2018's Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse. In the vast and ever-expanding universe of science fiction, few franchises have captured the hearts and imaginations of audiences quite like Star Trek. From its humble beginnings in the 1960s, it became a cultural phenomenon, exploring themes of exploration, morality, and humanity's place in the cosmos. One of its most iconic figures, Captain James T. Kirk, has been portrayed by several actors across different timelines. Chris Pine's rendition in the rebooted film series received widespread acclaim, but there exists an alternate reality, a universe where another actor took on the role of Kirk. What if, instead of Pine, the role of Captain Kirk had gone to a different actor, whose performance could have redefined the character in an entirely new way? This exploration delves into the casting decisions of the 2009 Star Trek film and the talent that was turned down, reflecting on how this choice might have changed the trajectory of the franchise. Captain James Tiberius Kirk was first brought to life by the legendary William Shatner in the original Star Trek series. Shatner's portrayal established Kirk as a brave and sometimes brash leader who was willing to defy orders for the sake of exploration. Abrams announced the reboot of Star Trek, it was clear that he needed someone who could capture the essence of Kirk while bringing a fresh perspective to the role. Pine stepped into this challenging role and delivered a performance that resonated with both longtime fans and new audiences. His youthful energy, charisma, and sense of adventure helped shape a new Kirk for a new generation. However, the casting process for such a pivotal role is never straightforward. Many actors vied for the chance to embody Kirk, and among them was a name that fans frequently debate: Matt Damon. Damon, known for his versatility and range, was considered a strong contender, and had he been cast, the interpretation of Kirk could have been dramatically different. Born on October 8, 1970, Matt Damon emerged as a leading man in Hollywood during the late 1990s and early 2000s. His performances in films such as Good Will Hunting, Saving Private Ryan, and the Bourne series showcased his ability to portray layered characters grappling with internal conflicts. His range allowed him to effortlessly transition from dramatic roles to action-packed thrillers, making him a well-rounded candidate for the role of Captain Kirk. Imagine a Kirk portrayed by Damon, a character who embodies not just charisma and bravado, but also depth and introspection. Damon's Kirk might have approached the role with a focus on emotional complexity, delving into the psychological challenges of leadership and the burdens of command. His portrayal could have highlighted Kirk's vulnerabilities, making audiences empathize with the character on a deeper level. In one pivotal scene, for instance, instead of Pine's exuberance, Damon's Kirk might have exhibited a more reflective demeanor, while grappling with the moral dilemmas of commanding the U.S. Enterprise. The internal conflict would add a new layer to the character, allowing audiences to witness the weight of his responsibilities in real time. The chemistry between Kirk and Spock is vital to the success of any Star Trek narrative. Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto's pairing has been celebrated for their ability to portray the contrasting personalities of Kirk and Spock while also showcasing their deep friendship. However, if Matt Damon had been cast, the dynamic between Kirk and Spock could have shifted significantly. Quinto's Spock, with his logical, stoic demeanor, would have had a different relationship with Damon's more introspective and emotionally driven Kirk. Their dialogues might have taken on new dimensions, exploring the clash between logic and emotion in a fresh way. Scenes that highlight their camaraderie would resonate differently, as Damon's Kirk could challenge Spock's views with a nuanced understanding of human emotion. For example, in the film's climactic moments, where Kirk's instinctual decisions clash with Spock's logical approach, a Damon-led Kirk might approach the situation with a philosophical lens, prompting Spock to confront his own emotional complexities. The emotional tension in such scenes would create a different viewing experience, one that dives deeper into the duality of their characters. Damon's casting might not only have impacted the narrative and character dynamics, but also the overall reception of the film. The original Star Trek reboot garnered a significant fan base, but with Damon at the helm, the film could have attracted an entirely different demographic. His established career as a leading man with a knack for serious roles might have drawn in viewers who typically shy away from science fiction, broadening the audience's appeal. Damon's involvement could also have influenced the marketing of the film. A leading star of his caliber would have led to a different kind of promotional strategy, focusing more on his established reputation for dramatic storytelling rather than solely on the franchise's legacy. This shift could have brought a new wave of interest to the Star Trek series, revitalizing the franchise in ways previously unimagined. Additionally, with Damon's dedication to his roles, his preparation for Captain Kirk would have involved extensive research into the character's history and psychology. This commitment might have resulted in an even more layered portrayal, leading to discussions and analysis of Kirk's motivations long after the film's release. The decision to cast Chris Pine instead of Matt Damon may seem like a simple choice, but the ripple effects of this decision extend far beyond the screen. A different Kirk could have altered not only the trajectory of the rebooted films, but also how subsequent series and films were developed. Consider how Damon's portrayal of Kirk could have influenced the writing of new episodes, films, or spin-offs. Writers might have leaned into a more introspective style, shaping the narratives around Kirk's emotional struggles. Such a focus would likely resonate with audiences. Also influences the legacy of the franchise. Pine's portrayal has become iconic in its own right, yet Damon's potential performance could have created a new iconography for Kirk, leading to merchandise, fan art, and even cosplay reflecting his interpretation. This new version of Kirk might have inspired a different generation of fans, ensuring the continued relevance of Star Trek in popular culture. As we explore the possibilities of what could have been, it's important to reflect on the significance of casting in the storytelling process. An actor brings not just their talent, but their unique perspective and experiences to a role. In the case of Matt Damon, his background and skill set could have shifted the narrative, creating a Kirk who embodied a different set of ideals, conflicts, and emotional journeys. Fans often speculate about casting choices, analyzing what could have been had the decisions been different. Would we have seen a Kirk who was more contemplative, less impulsive, yet equally effective as a leader? Would Damon's Kirk have challenged the conventions of heroism in a way that resonated more deeply with contemporary audiences? While Pine's portrayal will always hold a special place in the hearts of Star Trek fans, the idea of Matt Damon as Captain Kirk allows us to explore the rich tapestry of possibilities within the franchise. It reminds us of the delicate balance between the actor and the character, and how different choices can lead to dramatically different interpretations and legacies. Ultimately, the choice of Chris Pine over Matt Damon became a defining moment for the rebooted Star Trek franchise. Pine's energetic portrayal set the stage for a new era, breathing fresh life into the character of Kirk while paying homage to the legacy established by Shatner. As the Star Trek franchise continues to expand, it carries with it the weight of its past decisions, including the casting of its most beloved characters. The idea of Matt Damon as Captain Kirk invites us to appreciate the role of casting not only in shaping a single character, but in influencing the entire trajectory of a franchise. In the end, whether one prefers Pine's interpretation or imagines the possibilities of Damon's portrayal, both actors contributed to the rich legacy of Star Trek. Each performance reflects the enduring spirit of exploration and the complexities of leadership that define Captain James T. Kirk. The discussion surrounding their performances encourages fans to celebrate the character's evolution and the myriad ways in which storytelling can unfold across different interpretations. As Star Trek continues to explore new frontiers with various series and films, the legacy of Captain Kirk remains a cornerstone of its identity. With each new generation of actors stepping into the roles of beloved characters, the franchise redefines itself, drawing on its past while looking toward the future. In an age of remakes, reboots, and spin-offs, the possibility of revisiting the character of Kirk is ever present. Should the franchise decide to explore alternative timelines or realities, perhaps the door will open for Matt Damon's interpretation of Kirk after all. Such a revival could serve as a fascinating exploration of the multiverse concept, allowing fans to see how different choices create divergent paths in storytelling. As we reflect on the casting of Kirk, we recognize that every choice, whether it leads to a celebrated performance or a what-if scenario, enriches the tapestry of the Star Trek universe. With its core themes of exploration, diversity, and understanding, Star Trek will continue to thrive, inviting actors.